After that happened, the very next day, I was in bed looking at videos from the previous night. And I saw that video and I cried, bro.
Hi, this is Punk Mbedzi, and welcome to Music and Other Stuff, where we talk about everything music related and other things that you need to know about music. Today we're just going to be chatting about the art of making music, and we know that music is a creative expression for some people. For other people, it's a skill set that they develop, and like any other skill, you have to be consistent in making sure that you are doing it correctly. And today I'm joined by Mr. Fka Mash, who needs no introduction. And we're just going to be chatting a bit about the art of making music. And I just want you to walk us through your creative process and how you go about making music, because people have a different way of making music. Yeah.
Firstly, thank you for having me, man.
Thanks, man, for coming.
It's quite a really dope platform that you're starting here, you know?
Yeah.
So the process, it's a lot, you know. Sometimes it's how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's me being bored that day. Sometimes it's just a habit, you know. Just a habit that I developed, that when I wake up, this is what I do. When I wake up, I switch on my PC.
Yeah.
And I just like get some ideas out, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes sometimes I wake up and I have a melody in my mind, you know? And I need to get to my computer as quick
as possible to get it out.
Yeah. You know? So that I don't forget it, you know?
Do you always get the melody right? Because that's something I think I've struggled with. I mean, 1,000% of the times.
I'd say for the past 4 years. 4 years?
Yeah.
I've been getting it like on point. You know?
And like with making music, it's like I said earlier on, it's a creative expression.
Yeah.
It's not math. It's not 1 + 1. It's 2. You know, it's a creative expression. Have you ever found yourself in a creative rut where you can't, and how do you get yourself out of that kind
enough,
of space?
that's when I actually apply the math.
Really?
Yeah. So that's when I start applying the math. If a melody goes like this is what's supposed to be around it.
Yeah.
Because some ideas only have a single melody, right? But other ideas come to me with like the bass of that thing, and some of them come with like a top melody, and some of them come with the chords as well, or like melody at some so these are the kind of chords that I should be playing around it, you know. So I'll continue singing the melody in my head, singing until I actually start to lay it down. Then the chords will like that's when I start like figuring out like what needs to sit properly, you know. So I guess with situations where I'm facing like a creative dip, I just apply that math. If I had a melody like this is how I would work around it, you know.
That's like, as you're talking, I'm realizing that people make music differently. Like it sounds very complex, and it's as complex as your music sounds as well, because anyone who's listened to your music knows how, if anyone's paying attention, they can hear, there's a lot of work that went into every single stem of this song. It's not just put a shaker, it's running throughout the whole song.
You know, for example, there's a song that I did called Ascension, right?
Yeah.
And that song has changed so many times. Firstly, it's the first song I did when we went into lockdown, right?
Yeah.
First song I did when we went into lockdown. The structure of the song was the way it is, right? The structure hadn't changed.
Yeah.
But everything that makes up the song kept changing every time, you know? The groove, trying to reinforce the groove so that it actually sounds the way it feels to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then there's also like just so many things, man. Like the melody, the chords, there's certain like small moments that only happen once in a song that require a different sound. Like, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I think you should just open up a tutorial lesson, a part where people can just go into.
I really wonder if I have the capacity for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as much as I like explaining how things come into being, I feel like platforms like those are a very huge responsibility.
Yeah.
You know.
You have
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe like one day when I actually feel like, you know what, I've done like everything that I need to do. Now it's time for me to start exploring what that side of things would be,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah.
And I'm sure when you started this thing, it was like all about passion, the love. You never thought, okay, I'm doing this so that I can get this or get this or get this. It was all driven because of you loving music and the love for music.
Of course.
But I am 100% sure the more you grew and the brand grew and all that, you realize that hey, music is not just music.
Yeah.
There's music business.
Yeah.
You know, there's that leg where a lot of people don't like to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you've been learning, you know, that you wish you learned like at an early stage about the music business actually?
So I've been fortunate enough to have gone into, firstly, I got my first ever contract when I was 16. Right? And that contract, I was fortunate enough to have gone into it with someone who didn't feel the need to exploit me.
Was
right?
ethical, yeah.
Yeah. So he gave me, I think it was a 5-year, if not 10-year licensing deal for one song. You know, that was my first deal. I was very excited about it. Like I was telling everybody that I just got my first deal.
Yeah.
You know, and then 5 years. I mean, we still speak today. You know, me and that guy. I think mainly because of how he handled that situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he also taught me quite a bit about like
The business
this
side.
is how this works, this is how that works, right? But you hadn't started going deep into what actually the music business entails. Then when I left matric, I went into Academy of Sound Engineering, and luckily there was also a course that taught music law and contracts.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where I learned the bulk of what I understand about music business right now. You know, it's very hard. It's very hard to put me in a deal that is gonna
it's gonna miss you.
very hard.
Yeah.
You know? Because I can see it from afar. Or
It's not gonna serve
this is
you.
not gonna work.
Yeah.
You know. And if I can't negotiate a better deal out of that, rather we leave it. You know.
No, man, that's good, man. Because not a lot of people are fortunate enough to experience, you know,
Yeah.
such and have the opportunity to or access to, you know, study contracts and the.
But also, man, like the internet is your best friend. You know.
Yeah, and the internet has a, like you're saying, it has a positive and a negative thing because I think at the end of the day, some people end up knowing too much, you know, because of what they see on the internet. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm gonna be but not knowing like the realities of things. You know that.
Sure.
When I'm starting out, it's like this. Yeah.
What you're saying about like knowing too much is true actually, because there's some of the things that have held me back because of how much I know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So for example, if you know that you're only getting 5% on a deal, right? But this deal could potentially get you to maybe take you from level 1 to level 3. But had you done everything by yourself, you'd only gone from level 1 to level 2 in a space of 1 year, right? Then, in a way, you kind of like, you have to do the math yourself.
Yeah.
Do I take this bad deal and get myself further? Or do I continue doing everything by myself?
Gamble, man.
It's a gamble, you know?
Yeah.
But you can still take a calculated risk when it comes to like contracts that are not in your favor.
Yeah.
You know, there's always things that you can ask for in a contract that ensure that you are safe, in
Yeah,
the
you're
long term,
safeguarded.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just going back to the music that you make, anyone who's, like I said, anyone who's heard your sound knows how complex it is and everything. But
Is it really complex?
it is, man. Like, you have a signature sound. Let me put it that way. You have a signature sound, and going into that, do you think it's important for music producers to have their own signature sound?
Yeah.
And in what ways can that take them further or hold them back?
I want to sound very cocky right now. But what I do know about having a signature sound is that there's a very low chance of me going out of style. Right?
Yeah.
Because I control the narrative here, you know. If I start to feel like whatever I'm doing now is starting to bore me, I can always switch it up. However,
You can spice it up however
it's
you
still
want to.
gonna
Yeah.
be me.
Without the pressures of,
right? It's still gonna be me.
what's wanted. Yeah.
I don't need to wait for Fka Mash to change up his sound to discover what is the new direction, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The couple has a signature sound. San L has a sound.
Yeah.
Ralph Gum has a sound. At Jazz.
Yeah.
Rocco.
Sure.
Stimming. You can think of all the people who made you love what you love.
Yeah.
They have a distinct sound, you know? To this day, we still know what a Black Coffee song sounds like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 1000%.
Signature. You know? You can't take that away from you. It's like your voice.
It's how you sound. It's
how you
what
sound.
defines you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if the other day I got a call from someone, and because I'm used to hearing his voice, I didn't have his number, but because I'm used to hearing his voice,
You
I
knew
could
who it
tell,
was.
this is that guy.
Man, that's amazing, Yeah.
Because that's what having a sound, a signature sound is. As a producer. It's your voice, you know?
And I think especially with the ever-changing industry we have in South Africa, there's this sound that's pushing. Next year, it's this sound that's pushing.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is very important.
That's also like the one of the benefits of having a sound, you know. And also, man, like you can't cheat the system and think, "Hore, this is you'll wake up tomorrow and have a sound," you know.
Yeah.
It takes years and years of identifying what it is that makes you move, you know. What kind of grooves you like, what kind of melodies you like, what kind of sounds you like. And I always say, man, if you can think it, you definitely can make it somehow. You know?
So, and sorry, man. Some people find it also difficult to, like you're saying, think it and make it, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen that now there's softwares and stuff that are being developed, to just make the music making process so simple and so easy.
Sure.
What kind of impact do you think like technology is going to have on being a music producer? Is it going to be a bad thing? Because now you can find, like, I don't need to learn. You said you went to ASE,
Yeah.
There are people who went to music school to study music,
Yeah.
Nowadays, people don't have to do that. They just go there, press something, it plays a key, plays everything.
Yeah.
So how do you think that affects the culture of being a music producer and the credibility of it as well?
Credibility, not so much, because people don't care.
Yeah.
Like the general public doesn't care. Hore, you produce this on Fruity Loops or on Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Right? Firstly,
They just want the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care about that.
Yeah.
Then, secondary to that, they don't care whether or not you played those chords or you got someone to come and play them for you. All right? You paid a session musician to come and play that stuff for you. Generally, the public doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
They just care that the song is good. If it's good and it's making waves out there,
Yeah.
they are happy because it's now their favorite song.
Absolutely.
And you are happy as the producer because you're making money.
Getting you out there, yeah.
Right? So I don't know about credibility, so to speak, but I know it is making the music making process a bit easier,
Yeah.
Because generally I'm just like always looking for like new plugins online, looking for like equipment, gear, all that stuff. Just the fact that I'm looking for that, the algorithm is telling me that I'm a producer, is like it knows, sorry, I'm interested in music production, right? So it starts showing me ads about like, these processes that make the production process easier. Generally, I'm not too much into that because like, I always like, dude, like I enjoy the ideas that I come up with. Like whenever I'm in my own space and I start thinking of a melody and I'm like, oh shit, like I could flesh it up like that. I could add this, I could add bass, like I could do this. And I go to my room and I like quickly like scramble around and just like try and get an idea going. That's the fun part for me, you know? I could easily just like drag and drop a chord progression onto the system and like get going off.
Does everything automatically,
Come on, where's the fun in that? You know? Like where's the fun in realizing 2 weeks later that the reason why this thing didn't sound right is because you played a major chord instead of a minor chord. You know?
Sure. Yeah, man. And like I think that's what sets you apart from, you know, a lot of producers that are out there, you know, because I've had instances where like it's frustrating to make the music. Like it's not sounding how it's supposed to sound, you know, and I just wanted to get out there. Like it gets to a frustrating point, but you're saying like you want to put in the work, you want to, you know, just crack it, if I could put it in a simple way. And, you know, that has led you to make your own production and even start releasing your own music as of recently. You know, not a lot of people know this, but you're a label boss now.
Yeah, that's the title.
You're a label boss. You're a label
that's
boss.
The title.
And, you know, like what inspired you, you know, to because you've released on a lot of good labels, you know. But what inspired you to say, you know what, I want to do this on my own? And do you think other producers should also take that route as well?
I don't think it's for everybody. Yeah. Right? Because what led me to that decision was my understanding of the music business. Right? So there's certain instances where I've realized that actually I shouldn't have given this to that label. You know, I shouldn't have given this particular song to that label, you know, because of the kind of limitations that come with signing licensing deals and all those kind of things, you know. However, now that I have my own label, there's been a whole new world that I'm exploring, you know, because had it not been for me starting the label, I wouldn't have been doing my own events.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, like, it's just like, it's such a big world on the other side of things that I wasn't aware of. But I needed to start the label to know what is possible, you know?
Yeah.
So now I have the label, started my own events. Now I can actually start even employing people to work with so that this thing doesn't feel too heavy on me. You know,
that's dope,
one.
Man.
And two, you can put food on people's tables with this thing. You know, like that's like I was telling you earlier. Like this is the most like it's the most fulfilling year for me in terms of my career growth. You know? Because not only am I building alone, but I'm building with people that have like a vision for what Fka Mash could be.
Yeah, you know? And they can grow respectively in whatever they do.
They can grow as well. You know, in what they do. You know. So I always I have a great respect for people like Kid Funk, you know, someone who understands that side of the world, you know, who understands what it takes, who understands that there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it.
And still does it,
Dude, like I've had so many conversations with him and every time I learn something new from him, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think he's just a wealth of knowledge here in itself.
And he shares the info, like
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So man, it's just been a learning process for me really with the label. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've been discovering new things that have always existed, but I didn't know that they're a possibility, you know, for me.
Got you,
know?
Yeah.
So I'm loving the thing. I'm loving the label side of things. Like it's another beautiful outlet that I've created for myself where now I have the freedom to decide whether or not this song should be remixed.
Do you think you'd ever sign other artists, or it's something that you want to just hold to yourself?
For now, we still trying to build it and make it like I think I might in future like start like working with other artists under the label, you know. But the most that I've been doing now in terms of working with other artists on the label is like collabs on songs with other artists,
remixes and stuff,
those kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe in about 2 years, once like I've established
the foundation
of the label, and I won't get blindsided by anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'll always, there's always a possibility of being blindsided by stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe in about 2 years, I'll start like thinking about bringing other people onto the label.
100%.
But I'll find like my own way of doing it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like in this day and age, speaking about releases and doing that, like, I don't think we've ever been in an era where so much music is released commercially, like ever before, like in the history of music. And as an artist, as a label owner, as everything, you know, as a producer, how do you remain relevant in an era that consumes information so rapidly? You know, like every single Friday there's a hit dropping. That's the day we're in right now. Every Friday there's something. Yo, did you hear whoever dropped?
Yeah.
Like, how do you remain relevant?
I think for me the biggest thing is always, or rather the biggest thing I've discovered recently was that your people will always be your people.
Yeah.
You know? Unless you do something that actually turns them away from you.
Yeah.
Your people will always be your people.
Yeah.
You know? There's people that you don't need to work too hard to remain relevant to. No matter what is happening outside of you as an artist. I mean, firstly, I'm not the center of anybody's world, right?
100%.
And like, so someone can still like my music and like someone else's music. It's not even
that's the beauty of it.
Right. So, it's just, I think, one, making peace with that.
Yeah.
And two, just always coming up with like dope stuff whenever like it's time for a drop, you know,
to make sure that like even in the climate that we're in, you're still top of the food chain.
You know, exactly. Like, I really enjoy coming up with new ideas, like in my own space, you know, because when I'm making certain songs in studio, I can already tell, Jorge, at this point, this is what's going to happen. At this point, I need people to start singing along this thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And trust me, dog, it's happened. Like, I once played Ascension at a gig and people were singing along, right?
Sure. It's amazing.
And I closed the filter and it was like a choir of people just singing a melody, you know?
That was an idea.
An idea that I came up with. You know,
that's crazy.
And they were singing that thing, you know. It was beautiful. I'll show you the video. Dude, it was amazing, you know. In fact, after that happened, the very next day, I was in bed looking at videos from the previous night. And I saw that video and I cried, bro. Because I was like, this is what I always like hope for. Like, this is more fulfilling. What more do I want? Like, even if I don't get paid for a gig, right?
We hope you do.
But should it ever happen that I go through a situation where I play a gig and I didn't get paid, and the very next morning I wake up to that kind of interaction between me and the people who are enjoying the music, like, I might not be too mad about losing the money.
Sure, man, that's special, man. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
It just shows you like how artistic music is, man. Music is not, yes, it's codes and all these things, but it's an artistic expression. Sure. You know, like, it amazes me, like, so many years of music existing, there's still new ideas. Yeah. You can't reach the ceiling of it. Like, there's, you know, and for me, like, that just takes me to this, you know, like, someone is out there, they want to pursue this, want to pursue because they love it. Yeah. Right? Same way as someone would love accounting, same way as someone would love engineering, you know?
No, I don't know how someone could love accounting.
Hey, man. People are different.
I'm not a
But
guy, though.
but yeah, should it be like in those instances, some people like love music, and do you think that a person needs to be talented in order to be in this space, or is it something that they can learn? And if that's the case, like, is success, like, in your view, success correlated to natural talent in like being able to produce music, or something like, if I don't know anything about music, I can say, let me go to school, I'll be a great producer and make it.
No, you don't need to be talented, but you can still, I think, would you say having a good ear is a talent?
Not everyone has a good ear though. So I don't know. Yeah,
a good ear can be developed.
It can be. Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
So I think if we agree that a good ear can be developed, then you can build a good music producer, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So someone can start producing music at the age of 25, right? I started at 12, you know?
Yeah.
I started making music. I was 11, 12, like I was just messing around with ideas. So there's about 16 years of me doing this, right? There's people who have been listening to music since they were 5, 6. Like they actually just been in an environment that is full of music.
Yeah.
You know? They grew up but never really got an opportunity to do anything about it in that space.
Yeah.
Right? And one day they're in a studio with someone who actually makes music, then they make a suggestion. They're like, don't you want to try adding that instead of that there? Then the guy's like, okay, let me see how that works. Then the experienced producer is like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think of this? But it's still a raw idea, right?
Yeah.
Then he can shape it into something that works for the song.
Sure.
So I don't think you need to be innately talented.
Yeah.
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 I think a lot of things can be developed. It's a skill. It's a skill at the end of the day. You know, being able to like put a song together is a skill, because there's nothing new that we're doing. Everything comes from a particular reference, If you're making an Afro House song, you didn't invent the Afro House genre right there and then. There's a reason why you say you want to make an Afro House song. Because there's 10 other Afro House songs that you like, that you want to try and replicate into this one particular song.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I wouldn't say you need to be talented. I think also you can still develop the skill at any point in your life.
Sure. That's dope, man. I think that's encouraging for anyone who's looking to make music.
Easy, though.
It's not easy because taking ideas into, like, this table was an idea,
Yeah. Yeah.
But taking that idea into this table was not easy.
Yeah.
Like, it took a lot of, okay, I'm seeing this thing, but I can't, put it into, words. But like you're saying, the art of making music is just consistency and being able to push.
It is, man. Like, like when I have a friend who started like making music about 2 years ago, right? But I can, from the music he was making by himself, I could tell, that's where you're trying to go. Okay,
the direction,
Let me show you, this is how you deal with that. This is how you deal with that particular problem, right? Then once you start learning, it's like once you start learning how to find solutions to creative problems, creative solutions to creative problems, then you can make any song you want to make. That's pretty much how it is for the music creation process. For me, that is.
That's amazing, man. And it's like I said in the beginning, it's really amazing that people view making music differently. They have their own formula. So someone who's also out there, they can have their own way of making music. But I think at the end of the day, the principles, they go back to the same thing. Like, taking an idea and make it into something that exists.
Yep.
And just to wrap it up, man, what can we expect from Fka Mash in the future? And I don't want to say as a producer because we want to box you there.
Yeah.
But just from Fka Mash, what can we expect?
I'm trying to go into more styles of music, you know, because like also like because I'm a creative.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm just gonna get bored of what I'm currently. Naturally, I'm just gonna find new ways of doing it. You know, there's collaborations that I'm working on that I can't speak about yet because I'm not sure if they're gonna come true or not.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm definitely sure that I'm gonna be doing is an album.
That's amazing.
An album is like, I think how many songs did I say I was in?
2.
No,
Oh,
it's
12.
12 songs on the album, but like I think I was like 7 in, right? 7, 8 songs in. Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make more so that I have more to choose from.
Oh,
you know?
yes. Yeah.
But I'm working on an album right now. There's just some remixes also that I'm doing on the side. There's remixes of my songs that are coming out again in Jan Feb. You know, really dope package, that one. Like, it's a very, very, very dope package.
Dope. Yeah.
And then yeah, just like more music, man. Like, I think for me it's just the core of what I do is music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you can expect from me involves a lot of music.
100%.
Yeah.
No, thanks, man. Thank you for joining me today. I think this was very insightful, and I got to see and learn like how your brain actually works in the music making, and it was very enlightening, you know. And I'm just hoping that, you know, this just goes further. Your music making just goes further. You create more music and break more boundaries.
Thank you.
But yeah, it was awesome chatting to you, man.
Thank you, my bro.
Thank you,
man.